Leandro Miguel says, hi, I'm Leandro. I'm a Portuguese student almost finishing a degree in games and multimedia, and I pretend to be a 3D artist in the game industry. Maybe to make characters, but also props, where right now I'm looking for one internship in this area. And I'd like to have some opinion about my portfolio, also my LinkedIn. I'm not going to check the LinkedIn right now. Let's take a look at the portfolio. And the first thing I notice on this portfolio is that we do not have completely finished pieces, okay? So what do I mean by a complete finished piece? Usually when you present your portfolio, you want to make sure that your stuff looks like it could be part of a game, part of a movie, part of a commercial. Like it's ready to be there. It's complete, right? I see a couple of like concept pieces like this thing right here. Again, fine, but what is this? I don't think it's a good portfolio piece. It doesn't really help. We have this guy right here. Not great, right? Like very simple, very low poly. So again, not ideal. Maybe this was an exercise that you did or something. Probably not the best one to have on your portfolio. Same stuff with this. Like why is this thing not ideal for a portfolio? It's not a bad model. Again, it's not a bad model, but why do you guys think this is not a great one for a portfolio? It's a very simple reason. Very, very simple reason. We've said this 100 times. That's right, Mustafa. Too simple, right? It's too simple. Everyone who knows how to model in Blender, in Maya, in 3D Studio Max, I mean, even in ZBrush, everyone who knows how to model this could do it in probably like an hour, right? It's such a simple model that it doesn't really like place you above anyone else. It's just anything that anyone should be able to do. So no, links are not allowed, Christian, so you're not gonna be able to submit. But again, like submit the image on the Whips channel on the channel, and I can take a look after the stream. So that's the problem with some of this ones. Same for this one right here. It's very boxy, very simple. Like it's not like if this was the reference that you were using, like we did not match the reference. Like look at the white part right here, and then look at the texture that we have. That's something that you need to sculpt, and it's not that difficult to sculpt. Like if you go here inside of ZBrush, you grab like a ring 3D. Let's give it a couple of subdivisions. Make it a little bit thicker right there. I'm gonna use, for instance, here an inflate. Let's give it a little bit of that, and then just clay buildup. Change this to a round alpha. Usually a soft round alpha, so something like this, right? And you just start adding a little bit of that effect. Remember, wrinkles, whenever you're doing wrinkle, you always add the volume, and you remove a little bit of volume as well, because wrinkles are gonna sort of like break the effect. Is this gonna take a little bit of time? Yes, of course. It's gonna take me probably 10 minutes, 20 minutes to get in the zone, smooth things out, clean this up, right? Like really create the proper effect so that this does really start looking like what we're seeing on the reference. Remember, that's what we're being paid to do. When a client reaches out to you, they don't want to see this. They want to see this, right? Like all of that detail. And the only way to do that detail is, well, to learn the skills, learn the tools, and apply them until you get the result that you're going for. Okay, yeah, you can do this in Marvel. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but my point is, if you have a reference, you need to follow the reference. Imagine, like, this is something that we don't do as artists enough. Put yourself in the shoes of the client. Like, understand this is a business at the end of the day. It's a business transaction, right? So imagine you go to a restaurant, you ask for a hamburger, and they deliver a hot dog. Are you gonna be happy? No, you're gonna say, dude, this is not the hamburger I asked for. Maybe you order a hamburger and it's a little bit more cooked than you wanted. Well, in that case, you can accept it if you're in a good mood, right? But if you want to be really specific, it's like, hey, I asked for a hamburger with these specifications, you need to deliver that. So if the client says, hey, I have this concept piece right here, I need a 3D render because we're going to be doing some commercials, the proportions need to match, the size, the color needs to match. That's a very deep orange right there. This is more like a yellow, pale orange. Those elements right there, the ridges, again, every single little element needs to match. See how this thing is shining a little bit more? Well, we need to have a little bit of a shine right there. All of those things are important. There's a logo here, right there, and we don't have the logo over here. So those things are the things that the client's going to be looking at. This looks nice. Again, I'm not a huge fan of whips on my ArtStation. I prefer to keep that for other. This one is looking quite nice. I like the thing. Careful with the fingers. Like this finger looks way too thin and this looks way too big. It's usually the other way around. It should be going towards the small one. If you continue with this one, because the forms are looking quite nice, this could potentially look very, very nice. So I would definitely keep pushing that one. Once more, something like this. what is this? It's just an exercise. So if this is an exercise, this is not something that you normally include on your art station. And this one right here, I am metal edgeware, as we normally say, and it's just that the textures look very, very bland, very soft. So I would try to play with, again, the presentation, create like a nice ground plane, something to make this look a little bit more special, not just like a random house that you model. The issue, or the main issue that I have with this house, is that it just looks very blocky. Like, it just looks like a bunch of cubes like thrown together and creating this. I know there's a lot of like games out there that are like this, but I would always try to add something to make it look special and not just like another generic house. Like, we're missing some logo right here, maybe like a, I don't know, like a wanted poster, something to make this a little bit more unique. Okay?